So I posted a picture of my orange and olive oil cake a couple days ago with pistachio brittle on top. And I think I got the most private messages about this recipe, people asking me to do a video for it and post the ingredients. So I'm going to do both. I'm going to do the video here, and I will post the recipe at enidgrace.com. The best thing about this recipe is I've been making it for years. It's incredibly simple to make, and as it happens, it's vegan. And I do have some lovely vegan people in my life, so this is a great recipe. It makes a beautiful, simple, elegant dessert for a dinner party, but most importantly, as in the Italian fashion, it's even better the next morning with tea or a cup of coffee. The ingredients couldn't be simpler. It's practically all one bowl, doing the addition of the pistachio brittle. And I say brittle, it's not a traditional brittle. It's essentially making amber candy glass with the nuts in it. And then you can choose to serve it like as a shard, or you can crumble it up or chop it up and have it be more of like a kind of crispy, crackly texture on top. I tend to do a little bit of both. So technically it's sort of two recipes in one. I'm going to swiftly teach you how to make a simple amber glass sugar with the pistachios. But the true star of this is this incredibly simple recipe that I learned, I think 20 plus years ago now, in Italy. I had it at a cafe. I sort of flirted my way into the kitchen and got the recipe, and I've used it ever since. I served this for many years at Piccolina, and it was always a crowd favorite. And like I said, it happens to be vegan, but you would never know. It's just delicious as it is. So ingredients that we're using here, pretty much home staples, so nothing fancy. I've got just regular flour, white sugar, baking powder, olive oil, a little bit of water, some vanilla, which is optional, but I like it for the flavoring, and these beautiful seedless navel oranges. And then for the brittle topping, I've got some pistachios here, just raw, unroasted, unsalted, but shelled pistachios, and then some more white sugar. So I'm going to grab a bowl. Let's get started. All right, first things first, we're going to go in with the wet ingredients. So in this case, I've got a couple hundred mils of just warm water, nothing special. And then for our olive oil, now I'm using not like the highest of high-end olive oils, but something with a little bit of flavor. But you don't need to use your beautiful, like single varietal finishing oil here, as it is going to be overrun with other flavors. So decent quality olive oil. There we go. And I'm just using regular vanilla extract, but you could use vanilla bean paste if you wanted to. And I'm just gonna make sure I get all of this out of here. And then for our oranges, I need the zest of 4 large oranges, or the equivalent of whatever other type of orange you have. And then we're going to use the juice as well. So I'm just going to go in with some zesting action for the moment. Okay, I'm just finishing up number 4 of my oranges here, just on a rasp. These are one of my favorite kitchen tools. They're great for getting the zest off. All right, just scoop this all up. See, it's a formidable amount of orange zest, but this is a very flavorful cake. If you consider how few ingredients are in here, you do want the orange to actually be able to shine through. So it's a lot of orange zest. And then for the orange juice, I'm going to cut all of these in half. And one of my favorite juicers is this little vintage fella here. Like so, and I'll just get all of my juice out, squeezing. Okay, and last half going in. And what I particularly like about these old-fashioned juicers is you don't have to do it in your hand over the bowl. It has these little feet on the bottom, and you can just press down with all of your might, maximizing the amount of juice you can get out of it. And then just tip it in like so. Okay, juicing is done. And then I'm also going to add the white sugar into here as well. So plonk that in, and then a little whisk action just to combine all of this. It smells incredible with all of that intense, vibrant orange flavor. And I'm just getting the little whisper of the vanilla in there as well. If you wanted to, instead of vanilla or in addition to, you could put a little Cointreau in here or Grand Marnier to really up the orange flavor. All right. And then for our dry ingredients, just regular flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and of course we need a pinch of salt, a couple little pinches there, and I'm just going to gently just incorporate this just to distribute the salt in the baking powder. And then very easy, dry into your wet. And I'm gonna just carry on with the spatula instead of using the whisk. And I don't want to overmix this. I don't want it to get tough. So I'm literally just going to mix this until the flour is incorporated. Right, I lied to you. I am going to go back to my whisk just to make sure I don't have any lumps in here. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, and that is it. Oven has been preheated to 375 degrees, and I have prepared a false bottom springform pan, and I've just prepared it by buttering it well on all sides. You can go the extra step and put a parchment circle in the bottom, but with using the false bottom, I don't really feel it's necessary. So I'm just going to pour our batter in. And as you'll notice, there's no eggs in this recipe. We're just using the baking powder as our leavener. There we go. Make sure we get everything out of the bowl. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put this in the oven. It's probably going to be about 28 to 30 minutes, depending. I'm going to set a timer for 24 minutes just to see where it's at. And while this is in the oven, we'll go ahead and make our pistachio amber glass sugar. Add the water to the sugar in a small pan over medium heat. Swirl every once in a while to combine, and simmer until the water boils off and the sugar begins to turn an amber brown. Use a thermometer to bring to about 305 degrees, then turn off the heat, add in your pistachios, and swirl and stir to combine. Okay, I've just taken the sugar off the heat. It's beautiful, amber colored, and the pistachios are in. I've got a waiting piece of parchment here, and I want to make sure I get all of the sugar out. And you do need to move somewhat fast, and just using a spatula or an offset spatula, just kind of spread it evenly, trying to distribute the pistachios out. And that's it. Leave this 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the temperature of your kitchen, and this will set up like beautiful glass. And then all we have to do is smash it, chop it, crumble it up, and it'll be a beautiful, elegant topping for our cake, which is now in the oven. Whilst our cake is in the oven and we're waiting for our candy to cool, I thought I would show you these. I love a block cookie shaper, and a friend of mine made these for me as a beautiful gift. And so I've got a little squirrel in here, as well as a pine cone. So essentially, these are really great for making pressed cookies, which I love to do this time of year. I'll make my own speculoos dough, sort of this Dutch spiced, not quite gingerbread. It's more of like a spiced cookie. Typically, I like them a little thinner when you can snap them and have them with lovely tea. But these ones I make, they're crisp on the outside, but still a little soft on the inside, and they're quite delicious. So I just wanted to show these to you. And also let me know in the comments if you want me to do a recipe showing you how to use these block cutouts. They're very old fashioned, but they're actually not that difficult to use once you kind of learn the tricks of the trade of making sure that you can get them out. But like I said, if you'd like me to do a video doing some of these cookies leading up to the holiday season, let me know in the comments and I will do this for you. Although still warm, our sugar has now set. So it's just a matter of pulling it away from the parchment, and I'm hoping you can see that shine on there. It's just beautiful, perfect thickness, and the whole pistachios in there. So like I said, you can just smash this just by letting it drop if you want, or just smash it like so, and then you get these gorgeous little shards which you can serve sort of like an ornamental but edible garnish to this cake with a little bit of, I'm going to do a little bit of mascarpone creme to serve with this, just to add a little bit of another texture to this. Otherwise, you can just take a chef's knife and then just mill it through and chop this up into more of like a crumble topping, and then you kind of get these beautiful like amber glass crumbles on top, and it also looks really beautiful. So you can go whichever way you want on this. And honestly, just eating it on its own is so good. It's like a light caramel flavor, and then the pistachios are just lovely. If you had wanted to, as another little side note, a little sprinkling of salt when you first spread it out, so that it sets on top, adds a nice little balance of flavor there as well. So the cake is finishing up in the oven. I actually have other kitchen duties to get on to today. I've got one of my big cast irons out as I have beef cheeks to start prepping, but I can't help myself. Even while I have something in the oven and I have other things I need to do in the kitchen, I still can't leave you without a little bit of a book. I think this is one of the first weeks in a long time I haven't bought myself a new cookbook or added to the cookbook collection. There is a first time for everything. However, I do get lovely gifts from people, as I've mentioned here from time to time. And my lovely Warren found this copy of the L'Urus Gastronomique in a used bookstore, and so he gifted me with this. And I, of course, did take the book cover off. Even though it is a classic, I did take it off. And this is really a tome. I'm sure some of you out there know of the L'Urus Gastronomique book, as it is a classic in most kitchens, but it is essential French cuisine. And what I love about this, and now this is not an original first edition or anything like this, this is a repro from the 1960s. And what I just love about this is it is, in fact, like it's a literal Bible of French culinary recipes, technique, etc. And what I love about it is it's a combination of diagrams, like beautiful done diagrams, as well as this beautiful like 1960s photography. And then there's also black and white photography in here as well. Anyways, it's not necessarily a read per se, but obviously there are tons of incredible classic recipes in here that often give me inspiration, but also I learn a lot from these books because it does go alphabetically. Let me just see here where this starts, just so I can give you an idea. Abate, which is the first entry in here, which is beater. So it goes through tools used as well as ingredients, recipes, etc. Literally from A to Z. That's the starting page, A. Anyways, if you happen to find one of these new, it's a really great collection for any cookbook lover or holder of a cookbook library. So I'm gonna flip through this for a few moments while I'm waiting for the cake to finish up. Cake's gonna come out, I'm gonna let it cool, and then all I'm gonna do is just put it up on a beautiful pedestal. I'm gonna put a little bit of our candied, our amber glass pistachios on top, and then I'm gonna serve it later to some guests. And I'll show you a little video of the finished cake. Just a reminder, I will put the full recipe for you up on enidgrace.com. And let me know if you make this. And if you do, let me know how it was. Have a great day and have a great weekend.